Good morning. So, this is not part 2 of chest anymore. It is the second half. Yes. So, today is going to be the second half of chest, back, and shoulders, which I believe I posted the one for Monday a day after I did it, and I posted it, and then it told me it failed to post. I didn't see that till the next morning. And then it did that to me this morning as well of legs, so I gotta post that. So everything's a day behind this morning. So, or not this morning, this week. So, but we're gonna run through a little bit of chest and back and shoulders and see what happens. I'm still feeling good. Haven't really woke up feeling any worse or anything like that. I actually feel pretty good. I'm still a little stiff, but it's getting better and better as we progress. So I just got to be careful with what I'm doing. Yesterday with legs, I did a lot of body weight stuff, and everything felt fine. I did have a little bit of pain on my left-hand side, but I think that's just a little bit of inflammation going on, which is fine. But we're gonna get in here and do not a lot of weight, I must admit, but good form and whatnot. And we're kind of finally getting back on track of trying to drop weight. So hopefully, we start seeing that pretty soon, because the goal was at the end of June, the beginning of July, and we're closing in on that. We're closing in close to a month. So as far as calories this week, I am a little bit stricter, a little bit lower this week, just because eating in somewhat, not much of a surplus, but more eating at maintenance. I'm trying to get my body caught back up of getting used to being back in a deficit. So but I definitely noticed that last night when I went to sleep. I laid in bed and went like, man, I really want food. So it's just but luckily I was in bed, didn't want to get out of it, so it wasn't really that hard to avoid. So what is this guy doing? But Alabama drivers, man, I'm fucking driving on the wrong side of the road. Crazy. But nothing new, I guess. But I think as far as back today, the program has dumbbell rows in it. I may change that. I may do something a little bit different. I don't know. Once I get to that point, we'll see. But and then all we got is one more day of legs, and I gotta say, even just doing mostly body weight yesterday, it was actually a good lift. It kicked my ass. So which is good, which is nice. Can I say that I probably could have done a little bit more? Absolutely. Definitely could have done more. But I am kind of pacing myself because I do not want to risk myself getting, re-hurt. And then, especially with, I got a new job starting up soon. I definitely can't show up there and I got to be able to make sure that I can perform and do my job that's required. And two, man, the times that I'm not in the gym, I hate it. I absolutely hate it, and I hate taking time off from the gym. I enjoy going. If I could go 7 days a week, my body wouldn't give me issues, I would. But I can't, because I know if I go 7 days a week, my body's just going to fall apart. But overall, I think we may end up approaching the same thing tomorrow with legs. It's just doing, mainly body weight or really lightweight, and just trying to pump out a bunch of reps. For some reason, lighter weight but higher volume, like a bunch of reps, so far has really been, my body's been really receiving it well. So why change it if it's working out? So I don't know. We're gonna see. Maybe today we do the same thing. But the problem is that I don't want to get too light in weight and then not really, maintain anything or build anything. I just exhaust myself. So I gotta see if I can't find a fine balance there, because like say like today, I think I'm gonna have incline barbell as I think for upper chest starting off today. And man, if I just sat there and did the bar, I'm not gonna be able to feel anything. But if I do a 45 and a 25, well that's gonna be way too much. So I gotta feel it out. I think my rep range is gonna be anywhere from like 10 reps, 8 to 12 reps. We'll say somewhere around there. I think that's gonna do the best, and that may be the kind of the layout for a little bit. But in all honesty, I say reps, but I got a bad habit. Maybe it's not a bad habit. I don't know. For me, I go until I get like a rep that's a rep to fatigue. So a rep that I can get a full rep, but it's extremely hard to push, and then I'll go for one more, and if I can't get it up, without just completely exerting myself, and then I'll rack it. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a good habit or a bad habit. In my opinion, I'm pushing it. I mean, I'm kind of pushing my limits, so it feels like I'm doing something right. But overall, this entire week is just been a feeler week for me. Am I fully recovered, or is there something hidden in the background that's waiting to kind of surprise me? But as of right now, I couldn't feel better. I will say though, with this new job, it is an earlier shift, so we are going to eventually transition into lifting in the afternoons, starting next week. Actually, starting next week, we'll be lifting in the afternoons. I don't know if there's going to be much of a difference. I will say though, when I originally dropped my 100 and whatever pounds, I was lifting in the afternoons with food in my system, and I honestly at this point I've been lifting in the mornings for 2 years, and then the other 2 years I lifted in the afternoons. Now that I think about it, I gotta be honest, I got more results losing weight lifting in the afternoons. But to be honest though, it's probably because I was more exhausted, but I did have more food in my system, so I could exert a little bit more. And then when I got home, I didn't eat anything after that. So whatever I ate for that day, if it wasn't used up at work, it was used at the gym. So by the time I got home, there was nothing in my system. So, but I don't know. Calories in, calories out, man. You can lift in the mornings and not eat. You can have all your food all at one time at the end of the night, and mathematically, nothing's really changed. You consumed what you normally eat in a day. You lifted how you would lift in a day. I don't know. I think the only difference is the fact that I've got food in my system when I'm lifting, and or I don't have food in my system when I'm lifting. I think that's the only difference. So, but we'll see. I'm curious. I have not lifted in the afternoon in a long, long time. I'm not looking forward to the 5 o'clockers. And what I mean by that is, if anybody ever goes to the gym at 5 o'clock, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Fucking slammed. And for some reason, the strangest people come out around that time for gyms. I don't know what it is about it, but there's some crazy people out there. They got some crazy ideas at 5 o'clock, and sometimes it includes them going to the gym. I don't know where they come from, man. Don't know how. But either way, we got a good little bit of changes coming up, and then of course today's like the last upper body day, and then we have one more leg day, and then Friday I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna film it and see if it's worth a damn. Not a lot of people really do a full-on mobility style video where it's just me stretching and doing abs and cardio, but why not? I don't ever really see it on there, and if it is, it's most of the time they do it, it's boring as hell. So maybe I can figure out a way to make it a little bit entertaining and make it interesting, because people need to stretch. People neglect stretching and working on mobility. And now granted, some people are more gifted than others when it comes to mobility. Some people just naturally have more movement in their joints. They have more elasticity in their muscle fibers and stuff like that. Me, I'm not one of those people. I'm muscle bound as shit, and I blame playing football and stuff in high school and never stretching, because I used to be very flexible. I did gymnastics and track and field in middle school. I also did football, but they actually worked on mobility. man, I was so flexible. And then I got into high school, and ever since like freshman year of high school, right after that first season, I couldn't touch my toes. Like, I could not bend down to touch my toes until two years ago. So that's 6 years of muscle boundness that just was never taken care of. And I'm still working on it to this day. There's times that, you know, I can't just wake up in the morning and go down and touch my toes and get there. I have to sit there and hold it and hold it and hold it. And eventually I can get to it. And there's still a slight bend in my knees, you know, to do it. So, but it is something that I'm working on, and it is something that people should focus on at least once a week, man. Just an hour a day of just strict mobility, or an hour a week of just focusing on mobility. Trying to work on that, because that opens up so many things, especially just comfortability, man. I don't know if you guys just sit in a chair and go, you know, everything's kind of itching, hurting and aching. That's probably due to being stiff. Now, obviously not always, but a lot of the times being stiff like that can cause background stress, just unnecessary stress that you're not even thinking about. So, but just, you know, keep that in mind. We'll try it out. We'll film it Friday and see where it goes. But this car talk's gone on long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the gym, get rocking and rolling, and see how it goes.